everybody, and welcome to Topical Tuesday. I'm so glad you're here. Thank you for taking the time and joining us today as we go through our end of the year data collection. Let's get going. Today's topic is going to be our end of the year form. This is going to be really an important tool as we advocate for our programs. And you may have seen that I sent out an email asking your principals to record a 1-minute blurb about the power of your school library program and what it means to your school to have such an amazing program. We hope to be sharing those soon at the Principals Leadership Academy. So please, please, please encourage your principals to record these videos. We want to hear about all the amazing things you're doing. And we're going to be sharing some of the data that we cull from this form. So please make sure your microphone is muted when you aren't speaking. And if you have a question, please utilize the triangle, square, circle. That will really help me keep track of the questions. And let's get going. All right, so I wanted to give you a peek at the form and what it looks like this year. In years past, we used to run all of these crazy reports, and you spent your time culling that data. And now we have our wonderful library media ladies run that data over spring break. And we really could zero in on your programs more than just the data and what you spent. So super easy, starting with your name, selecting your school level and your school name. That's going to help us as we sort through all the data, and I'm going to try and scroll pretty slowly so that I don't give anyone vertigo. The next questions are going to be talking about your library program. We want to know the number of certified media specialists staffing the library. If you are not certified, please put 0 in that category. That's really important data, and it is not a problem. But please put 0 if you are not certified, and then let us know that what your credentials are. Do you have an ALA master's? Do you have a master's in educational media? Have you passed the FTCE? Are you a teacher on assignment? Then we want to know what your other duties are that are your responsibility. If you have other duties, please put them in other. That is more than acceptable. We couldn't list them all, but please list what your duties are that you are required to do by your administration. We need to know if you're the official textbook contact. And then for secondary teachers only, we want to know how many core or elective classes you teach. Are you the teacher of a record, and do you assign grades on the report card? Elementary media specialists, please choose 0. We know that the majority of you are on the wheel. And then we want to know what your program looked like this year. We know it's very different than it has been in the past. So this year, is your library available for student use? And then we also want to know, was it available for student use in prior years before school begins? Same for after school. And then we'd like to know, was your library available for student use this year at all? We know that some of your libraries have been closed due to being overflow, to being testing centers. We totally understand that, but this is data that we want to capture, that we can share when we do our presentation on the power of school libraries. And then we'd like to know the total number of days your library media center was closed for library functions, school events, or meetings. And then the number of days it was closed for testing. We're also asking the total number of days it was closed due to COVID-19 overflow. And then we need to know, was your library open at all this year? The next questions are going to be dealing with the budget. We would like to know how much you spent on print books, from your school operating budget, from your state categorical funds, and from Title I funding, and from fundraising or grants, and then the total amount you've spent on ebooks. We're looking to find out how many databases beyond what we provide at the district level do you purchase for your school? And then we want to know, what were you able to accomplish this year? I know that everything that you did this year was unbelievably difficult. And so many of you did so many things that were so amazing for your students. And we want to hear about that. How were you able to adapt your programming with COVID protocols? Is there a line for internal funds? Books that, or anything that you purchased with non-30/70 funds, okay? Non-30/70 funds. Did you participate in any of these national literacy initiatives? And we're looking at circulation. We know circulation was down for print books, but we would like to know how many print books did you circulate? And Amy, yes, IB, AP monies or other. We also want to know how many ebooks you circulated this year. And when I'm done showing you the form, I'm going to show you how to find your ebook data so that you can find out how many ebooks that you circulated. And then we want to see what your virtual library program was like. What platforms did you use? What kind of programming did you run in your virtual library program? We know that even when we came back to brick and mortar schools, that you still ran your virtual library programming. And this is data that we need to share. You guys have literally moved mountains this year. I am in awe of everything I've seen that you are doing this year. I don't know how you've done it all with all of the crazy things you have to do to keep your media center and your students safe. Then we would like to know how engaged were your students in the virtual school library program, and what was your most significant success as a librarian during the pandemic? And like last year, we're going to try and have some reflections on, Amy, that's a good point about database stats, searches, downloads, views. I will add that before I send this out. If you don't have those stats, that's okay. We will add this as a question that is optional if you have additional databases that you subscribe to. We would like you to take a minute and think about, having had to reimagine your library programming, reflect on what your successes and challenges were this year. And then how do you anticipate being able to run your media program during the FY22 school year? And how do you anticipate it being different from this school year? I know there are a lot of questions, and I also know that Google Forms you can't go back to. I have printed this form as a PDF, and I will be sending it out so that you have this to work with. I have not been able to edit the list of schools out, so it is a very long PDF, and I apologize for that. But you will have this in PDF form, so it's easier for you to manage and work on it when you have the time, and then you can enter the data later. I know that's the easiest way for you to do that and take care of that. So the ebook circulation data, that's going to come from two places. It's going to come from Destiny, and it's going to come from Mac and Via. If you have any Follett ebooks, you're going to need to go into Destiny to get your data. So I have up a school, and I know today that's been super frustrating, and you haven't been able to log in and get your data. We hope that the portal comes back up and soon, but in the meantime, you can use your Circ Desk access to at least circulate books. To get your ebook data and your circulations, you're going to go into Catalog, and then you're going to go into Destiny Discover. Once you're inside Destiny, well, that's really strange. It took me to a different library altogether. Once you're inside Destiny Discover, you're going to go to, I'm going to go back because this library that I was using has quite a few Follett ebooks, and you'll be able to see the circulations much better. So I'm going to go back to Destiny Back Office. Give me just a moment. So you're going to click on your hamburger menu, and you're going to get your admin. menu. Once you're on admin, this is where you can customize your Destiny Discover, but you can also get your reports. So if I wanted to get my e-content usage statistics, all I have to do is simply click on this report. It's going to run quickly, and then I can view it. And we can see, broken down by the different types of Follett ebooks, the circulations from today, from this month, and this school year. This is a significant amount of ebooks that have been checked out at this school, and that is really worth reporting. And it shows the ability of this media center to take their content and make it available to their students in a digital format. So she had 1,500 checkouts of ebooks, and then we can compare and contrast from years past. If you want to compare that, you're going to come back into reports, and you can go into your reports, and then you can do examine a current checkout of your Follett, your current checkouts report, and you can select any dates. You can narrow it down within Destiny. Right. Deb, Capstone, you're going to have to get your, I'll find out how you will get a Capstone report. Not as many people have those Capstone ebooks, but we'll hope that we can figure out a way to get the Capstone report on selection as well. Your Mac and VIA. So this is a dashboard. I have Green Acres Elementary. They purchased quite a few ebooks this year. They wrote some grants for ebooks. And as you can see, they have 509 ebooks. This snapshot, this dashboard is a really nice way to look at your collection. You can see how many words the kids have read, how many pages, how many hours of reading, how many books they've finished. And you can check out your extended circulation distribution, and you can see your category distribution of books. Okay, but to get your reports, you're going to go into reports and usage. It's listed from 4/20/2020 to 4/20/2021, and that will give you a good idea of the ebooks that you circulated during this pandemic time. If you have groups, you can narrow it down. You can see based on groups what the circulation was, but for our purposes, we're going to look at all. I'm going to click Run the Report. And we can see that she had 538 checkouts, but 1,500 total views and 1,800 total logins. So there's been quite a lot of ebook usage at Green Acres, and it's really worth looking into. So that was a really quick run through of everything that we're looking for this year. I do have about 15 minutes, and I wanted to make sure we had time for questions. So if you have questions, please feel free to open your mic and ask your question, and I will address them quickly and as well as I can in the next 15 minutes.
Lisa, what if we're the unofficial textbook person? Do we do anything with that? We just let it go.
I think you just let it go, Amy.
Even though we spend hours doing it, we just let it go.
I know.
Okay.
And perhaps I should add, are you the unofficial textbook?
Well, just maybe how many days out of the year do you spend, distributing and checking in and checking out textbooks? I mean, it's like the first month of school.
On the duties assigned by your administrator, put that as an other. And put how many days that you can put how many days you spent checking in and checking out textbooks, because those are duties that take you away from running your media center. And we know that. Marge, myself, and Nolan met with Dr. Fenoy and with Keith Oswald yesterday. We had a wonderful meeting, and they have invited us to speak to the Principals Leadership Academy. So those videos that your principals are creating will be shared. So we are going to be speaking about what the power of a librarian is when they are left to run their program. because that is really important. And all of these extra duties are very important for us to share with those upper leadership. Debbie, I see you've got your hand raised. All right, while we wait for Debbie, does anybody else have a question?
When is the form due?
The form will be due June 1st. You'll have plenty of time to do this. Actually, I take that back. We're going to make it due with May 15th. I take that back because the Principals Leadership Academy is June 10th, and I need some time to cull through the data. So we're going to make it due May 15th. That should give you a month to do this. I will get that out to you first thing tomorrow morning. So May 15th. Collection, development, inventory, all of that not due until the last day of school. All right, Amy?
Yeah, do you, for the statistics for databases that the district subscribes to, do you guys get a breakdown by school of searches or?
I do buy from teaching books. I will find out. I will call Robin and I will call ProQuest and see if we can get that breakdown about the searches. I would think we can get that data. Amy Evans and then Debbie.
Okay.
Hi, just a quick question about, do we put the start date from last April? Is that what I heard you say? Or am we doing it from August?
It's good. So it's going to give you from it's going to give you from the year previous. So if I'm going into reports in Mac and VIA and I go to usage, it's going to automatically fill in from April 20th to April 21st. If you would like to make it this school year, that is fine.
Okay.
But this way you can get an idea of your total pandemic usage if you start searching from about March of last year.
Okay, very
All
good.
right.
Thank you.
You're welcome. Debbie?
Can you hear me now?
I can.
Oh, good. I'm holding because our printer is having an error, our big Epson printer, so I have to get service out here.
Gotcha.
I make all the posters, plus I'm the one that checks in and checks out all of the computers for the students.
I would put that as a duty, right?
Okay.
Definitely list that because that takes time away from running your media program. If you're checking in and out of those Chromebooks, you can't worry about running your library.
I hate to say this. I'm not going to say it. Okay, thank you very much.
You're welcome.
I'm afraid to say it.
Debbie, we'll talk offline.
Okay, great. Thank you very much.
You're welcome. I think I saw somebody with a question. Are there any other questions I can answer? Concerns? Something you want me to share with Nolan, with upper leadership?
For the Mackin report, do we put views or checkouts for the ebook?
I would do both because many of your kids are going to read without checking the book out. And that's the only way I know to capture it. So I would add the two of them together because I think it's really important to show that the kids are looking at your ebooks and perusing that catalog. Right? They are wanting to use your library resources. So the more we can show, the better.
Okay, thank you.
You're welcome. Any other questions?
Lisa?
Yeah.
This is them. Did we, by any chance, get any updated CDC requirements or changes for us for circulating books and how long we have to hold them?
So the science is saying now we can go to 3 days. I am getting set to put in a request to Paul Strauss to update those guidelines, but that has to come from environmental before we can then lower the quarantine from 7 days to 3 days. You know, as science evolves, of course, we learn more about circulation and how COVID lives on what surface. But the new science is saying that 3 days should be plenty. And I'm hopeful that we can get that changed soon.
Okay, thanks.
You're welcome. I know the 7 days has added an extra layer of difficulty in circulating books this year. And I wish it were something different and something easier. But again, you guys have moved mountains by being able to even circulate a book this year. and run your programs for your students and do all the things that you've done. It's absolutely incredible. It's absolutely incredible. From seeing live live programming for BAM, right? In a library. Everyone came to watch the virtual programming together. The creativity has been unbelievable. And I know sometimes it goes unappreciated, but we notice and we see, and we love everything that you're doing. It's been absolutely a pleasure to watch you guys adapt your programs and do what you do. All right, Chelsea?
Yeah, for some reason, I don't have my Mac and Via admin. Like when I click on Mac and Via, it just takes me to the student page. And then if I click on administrator, I don't know my password.
So I will send you, do you have Kathy Coffey's email?
I think so, yeah.
Reach out to Kathy. You just need to get your administrator password. It's
Okay.
if you have a mackin.com login, it's the exact same login.
Okay, I'm not sure if I do or not.
If not, reach out to Kathy and she can help you. And for those of you that don't know, we have a new Mackin representative. Beth left Mackin back in August, and Scott Schertzer is back, and he is now our Mackin rep. So for those of you that missed Scott, Scott is back, and he is working for Mackin.
Yay!
So I'm really excited to announce that. All right, let's see if there's a question. And Debbie, you've been able to have an after-school virtual book club and students from other schools. That's amazing, right? The power of this digital programming, it's amazing what we've been able to do and all the different things that are happening. And I think when this pandemic is over and we can go back to our regular programming, I think we're going to see just how much our programs are enhanced by all of the skills we learned during the pandemic. We're going to take those pandemic skills and use them with our regular programming, and then our programs are going to be even better than they were before. Yes, Amy, I will send Scott's contact info out to everyone. And I'm going to be sharing a list of media specialists with Scott. He's asked for that list. So welcome back to Scott, and yay for us for having a Mackin representative. And I have just secured Mackin is coming, and they will be sharing with us how to curate our Mackin Via next time, as well as their new tags. So just like Follett has curriculum tags, Mackin has them now as well. And they're going to be sharing about how to use those with your collection development as well. So that'll be next time. Mesa will be joining us from Mackin. I have just about 5 more minutes. If there are any other questions, I'm happy to take them. If not, we will end a little bit early.
Hi, Lisa, it's Joanne.
Hi, Joanne.
The vendors that didn't complete their forms last year, are they getting an opportunity to get back on, like the junior library?
In 4 years.
In 4 years.
This bid was for 5 years, and they will not have the option to come back on as vendors until another 4 years.
And who were the other ones? Gumdrop?
Gumdrop as well.
And what about Rainbow?
Rainbow is, I believe, that's Andrew Herbert. They are approved.
We still have them.
We still have them.
Okay, thank you.
You're welcome. I know it's unfortunate. We missed Junior Library Guild. That was a wonderful vendor and a wonderful service. And we are so sad that they didn't respond to our bid. They were reminded. Yeah, they were all reminded many times by Jan Butts, and unfortunately they didn't respond, and it's unfortunate. So yes, combine views and checkouts in your stats. Because particularly at the elementary level, a child could read a picture book in one sitting. So that I could definitely consider that a checkout. All right. All right, if there are no other questions, I'm going to stop recording. Thank you so much for joining us today. I appreciate all of you and all the time and all the patience you're giving me as I try to transition to being the only person running library media. We miss Holly so very much. but I am trying to do the best that I can, and I really appreciate all of your support and your patience for me as well. Have a great afternoon, and I will see you all soon.
Was there a login, Lisa, that